This is being reported like wildfire, and it has just broken that Caitlin Clark is out with a left quad strain.
Caitlin Clark does not look right on the sideline. Caitlin Clark is coming out. She has heat compression on her quad. She was playing injured.
Something must have happened in that New York Liberty game that forced Caitlin Clark to go to the doctor to possibly get x-rays.
Not the same injury, though it is kind of odd that it is on the same muscle. And depending on the grade, they're graded grades 1, 2, and 3. Grade 3 needs surgery.
The Indiana Fever just released this information about 20 minutes ago. They stated Caitlin Clark has suffered a left quadricep strain.
There is literally footage of Caitlin Clark putting heat compression towards her leg. There is literally footage of her putting heat packs on her leg.
Difficult time making those threes, and a lot of explosiveness from those three-point shots does come from your legs.
Caitlin, now this is shocking on so many levels, man. We have never really witnessed Caitlin Clark getting hurt like that.
She has been hurt, and she's been playing at 75% speed. She's been using heating packs since preseason, and she's been playing on 75% speed, and she's still.
This just in shocking news from the WNBA world, as Caitlin Clark has been forced to step away from the game. Just moments ago, it was announced that the Indiana Fever's star guard is officially out with a left quadricep strain. The injury is serious enough to sideline her for at least 2 weeks, leaving fans stunned and the league shaken.
Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark has suffered a left quadricep strain and will be out for a minimum of 2 weeks, the team announced today. Further updates will be provided as available following re-evaluation.
Clark in clear discomfort, applying heat compression to her leg, struggling on the sidelines, and battling through visible pain. This sudden turn of events has left the basketball world buzzing with concern and speculation. What really happened? How bad is the injury?
People have been at games. I've been getting, if you look like my comment section, I don't read my comment section that much, I'm going to be honest, but some of the times where I have read my comment section, people have genuinely been like, I'm at the game. Caitlin Clark does not look right on the sideline. Caitlin Clark is coming out. She has heat compression on her quad. She was playing injured.
This isn't just any update. This is a game-changing moment that no one saw coming. Let's break down exactly what happened, how it's shaking up the league, and why fans everywhere are holding their breath.
Caitlin Clark is injured, bro. Now, this is shocking on so many levels, man. We have never really witnessed Caitlin Clark getting hurt like that. She's always taken care of her body. She stayed healthy, and she pretty much stayed ready to go throughout college. Now, this is a shocker for me.
Caitlin Clark's injury is now confirmed as a left quadricep strain, a development that's spreading rapidly across the sports world. According to reports, she will be sidelined for a minimum of 2 weeks. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Clark has had issues with that muscle. She previously missed a preseason game due to quad tightness, marking the first time in her entire basketball career, collegiate or professional, that she didn't suit up. However, this latest injury is more serious. While it's been stated that this is not a recurrence of the earlier issue, the fact that it's the same muscle raises concerns.
This is an actual quad strain. According to reports, it is not the same injury, though it is kind of odd that it is on the same muscle. And depending on the grade, they're graded grades 1, 2, and 3. Grade 3 needs surgery. 2 weeks, I think, would be the minimum that she would be out with a quad strain.
Footage has now surfaced showing Caitlin Clark visibly struggling during recent games, applying heat packs directly to her leg, specifically targeting her quad. This isn't just speculation anymore. Viewers and fans at the games have seen it firsthand. People in the comment sections and even those attending live have reported that something looked off about her. One person mentioned she didn't seem right on the sideline, and others confirmed she was using heat compression while still actively participating in the game. There was even a tweet showing her with a heating pad, which has since been deleted, but not before it sparked concern and conversation online.
She was playing injured. And ironically, that is probably the best case scenario. That is probably the best thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's a bad thing. And trust me on this, it is probably the best case scenario that she's been actually playing through this and she was able to play through this fine. Because you want to know what that means? You cannot play on a grade 2. You cannot play on a grade 2 at all. And it means she's probably going to be okay.
The Indiana Fever dropped a bombshell that no one was prepared for. Caitlin Clark has officially suffered a left quadricep strain and will be out for a minimum of 2 weeks. The news came out of nowhere and sent shockwaves across the WNBA. Up until now, there had been whispers and speculation about her recent form, but nothing that hinted at something this serious.
The Indiana Fever just released this information about 20 minutes ago. They stated Caitlin Clark has suffered a left quadricep strain and will be out a minimum of 2 weeks.
Fans and analysts alike assume she might be dealing with the usual rookie adjustments or maybe just some load management. But now the truth is out, this isn't about pacing or strategy. This is a real injury, and it's going to sideline one of the most talked about players in the league.
She stayed healthy, and she pretty much stayed ready to go throughout college. Now, this is a shocker for me. Now, Caitlin Clark was ruled possibly out at that Atlanta Dream preseason game, and I'm here to tell you she played that game, and she played every other game since, man. Maybe it's something, bro.
Caitlin Clark's absence couldn't come at a more challenging time for the Indiana Fever. Without her on the court, the team immediately feels the void. There simply isn't another playmaker on the roster who can match her vision, leadership, or offensive spark. In the preseason, when Clark sat out, Sophie Cunningham stepped in and showed brief flashes of control.
Basketball elements and how this affects the Indiana Fever, it does make me a little worried because the Indiana Fever do not have a backup playmaker anywhere near the level of Caitlin Clark. Sophie did come in the preseason game where Caitlin Clark was missing, and she did show some glimpses of being able to do it.
But during the regular season game against the Liberty, those flashes faded, and the difference was obvious. Without Clark running the point, the Fever's offense looked scattered and directionless, like a train without a conductor.
I saw Sophie kind of taking over against the Liberty, and I did not see those same glimpses. And it is kind of obvious, and it always worries me when Caitlin Clark is not running the point because the team, and I've said this before, the team looks like a train without a conductor. There's a lot of ISOing going on. The motion offense or offense just looks a lot sloppier. And last season, whenever Caitlin Clark would go out for a rest, I always felt myself very worried for what the team was going to do. And I feel kind of the same way this season.
The fact that she's been active, even showing strong performances during games, suggests that it's likely a grade 1, because playing on a grade 2 strain would be nearly impossible. This might actually be the best-case scenario. Yes, she's hurt, but the ability to continue competing, even at reduced speed, is a good sign for her recovery outlook.
There's levels to quad strains. She is either going to be out, and I mean this, she's either going to be out till All-Star, or she's going to be fine in 2 or 3 weeks. And I would assume she's going to be fine in 2 or 3 weeks. They would not, if she's going to be out till, there's such a big difference. There's such a big difference between grade 1 and grade 2 in any sort of muscle strains.
And let's not forget, Clark wasn't just on the court. She was still performing at a high level, fighting through discomfort, and showing the kind of toughness that few players can match.
Caitlin Clark has been playing like a top 5 or 6 player in the WNBA on one leg. She has been hurt, and she's been playing at 75% speed. She's been using heating packs since preseason, and she's been playing on 75% speed, and she's still.
Some believe the turning point might have been during the matchup against the New York Liberty, where she may have aggravated the issue enough to finally get medical attention. Reports suggest X-rays and evaluations revealed the full extent of the strain.
Something must have happened in that New York Liberty game that forced Caitlin Clark to go to the doctor to possibly get X-rays. I believe X-rays possibly determined Caitlin Clark was injured, bro, because there's no way. Because she's been injured since the preseason, allegedly, and she played, which means to tell me that could be why Caitlin Clark has not been playing so good.
And that explains why, despite pushing through the pain, her recent performances just didn't look like the Caitlin Clark we all know. This injury isn't just physical, it changes the entire tone of her rookie season.
That could be why Caitlin Clark has not been playing so good. We all know Caitlin Clark has been struggling to make her shots from 3. She has been off from the 3-point range, and it all looking like it's...
But there's another layer to this story, one that goes beyond statistics and into the realm of protection. Clark has been taking an incredible amount of physical contact on the court, facing double and triple teams and playing through aggressive defense that often goes uncalled. The officiating has come under fire, with many pointing out an undeniable disparity in how she's treated compared to other stars.
This should be a lesson to the league and a lesson to the officiating, because the amount of contact that is allowed without a foul call and the amount of physicality that Caitlin Clark has to battle through being double teamed and triple teamed, and honestly, it's mostly just not being called for these fouls, needs to be assessed. Caitlin Clark is the league's star player, whether you like it or not. It shows in the bottom line. It shows in the revenue. It shows in the viewership numbers. Every which way you turn, it shows. And as the league star player, she should not be bullied around or ragdolled, just pushed around like she is. There is an undeniable disparity in the officiating.
It's raising questions about how the league protects its most valuable players. In the NBA, someone like Kobe or Steph would rarely go through that level of contact without drawing fouls. Clark, on the other hand, seems to be getting ragdolled without whistles, and it's beginning to cost her health.
I mean, think about the Kobe whistle in the NBA. No one touched him without an issue. I remember Draymond Green saying if anything happened to Steph, Draymond Green would get up in a player's face. That's not to say that there shouldn't be fairness in the officiating. Yes, Caitlin Clark should be called for fouls, but the fairness is what is being disputed here, in that she is being pushed around and not being calling, and that only hurts the league. It only hurts the eyes on the league because she is the star player.
There's been a lot of speculation about what might have caused this injury. Some believe it could be the result of trying to bulk up too quickly during the offseason, while others suggest it's simply overuse from pushing her body too hard without enough rest.
Could it have been strength training done the wrong way? Very well. Very well could have been. Could it be a case of Caitlin Clark flat out just not taking enough rest? Yeah. And if this just is a muscle strain from overuse and she's out for a few weeks and she's back, and a lesson is learned that to not like underestimate rest, then it's not too bad. And I really hope that that is the case, but I don't know.
Whatever the cause, it's clear Caitlin wanted to keep playing, and the organization likely trusted her instincts. This could have been a decision based on short-term performance, but it may now be time for her to start truly listening to her body.
It's something that maybe she's going to have to start listening to her own body. It's the first time she's really picked up an injury in her life. So maybe she is going to have to just start listening to her own body. But either way, regardless of what you think, she's been playing injured. Regardless of what the Indiana Fever are saying, are wanting to say, that organization's wanting to say, she's been playing injured. Caitlin Clark has in fact been playing injured. There's footage of it. And look, it's something that maybe long term, I know there's only 40 games in a season, but the most important thing is she's okay in August, September. And do you want to know something else that's kind of crazy?
Caitlin Clark is not just a star player, she's the heart of their offense. And her absence is going to force a serious adjustment. It might be why the team has been waiting for Sophie Cunningham to return to full health, knowing they'd need backup leadership on the court. But beyond the team, the WNBA itself is feeling the ripple.
How will this impact this team? This will impact this team in a major way. I'm telling you right now. And that could be why they wanted to wait for Sophie Cunningham to get 100%, because they possibly knew Caitlin Clark was dealing with an injury. But guys, this is bad. This is bad on so many levels, man. Now, they did release an article as well. My goodness, guys, I'm lost for words. And basically a tough blow to WNBA. Now, I don't know if this is going to hurt viewership. That is going to be the big thing. It's viewership, bro.
Caitlin brought a wave of new attention to the league, and with her sidelined, questions are already being raised about how this might affect viewership and momentum. This isn't just a player getting injured. It's a shift that will be felt far beyond the box score.
And basically a tough blow to WNBA. Now, I don't know if this is going to hurt viewership. That is going to be the big thing. It's viewership, bro. I don't know if it's going to hurt viewership, but this is spooky, man. Let's check out what some of the fans had to say. Caitlin Clark report put this on there. Caitlin Clark, take my left quad. I don't need it, bro.
Caitlin Clark's injury is more than just a setback. It's a moment of reckoning for the Indiana Fever and the WNBA. As she begins her recovery, the team must rise to the challenge, and the league must take a hard look at how it protects its stars. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark's injury is a tough setback, but it's not the end of the road. She's been playing through pain, proving her resilience, and if the reports are right, she could be back on the court sooner than expected. For now, all eyes are on her recovery.
I talk about this a lot in my videos. I talk about it a lot in my lives, and I'm always talking about how I'm always lighting a candle for her health, because her health is of the utmost importance, 1, to her and her career, 2, to the WNBA's success, and 3, as the key playmaker for the Indiana Fever.
I really don't know. At the end of the day, it's a tough injury and we don't know what's going to happen. But I'm hoping that it's an injury she's been playing through all year, because she has been using heat packs the whole year. And I'm also hoping that not only that it's an injury that's been lasting the whole year, but also that
it all makes sense because Caitlin Clark was off, man. She's been off from 3, bro. If you've been paying close attention to what has been happening with Caitlin Clark this year,
difficult time making those threes, and a lot of explosiveness from those 3-point shots does come from your legs.
there is literally footage of Caitlin Clark putting heat compression towards her leg. There is literally footage of her putting heat packs on her leg.
Here's hoping she comes back stronger, sharper, and more determined than ever. Until then, keep your eyes on the updates, stay locked in, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest breaking news. We're wishing you a full and fast recovery. Caitlin basketball's just not the same without you.